can't play the tune for real.
Welcome to another episode of the 305 History Podcast, where we talk 305 history, 305 culture, 305 everything. I'm your host, Erica P., and today we are sitting here with one of the hottest DJs in the city, from DJing some of the biggest events, going on tour with Tank, and curating some of Miami's biggest parties. Y'all give it up for DJ Fly Guy.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. It's an honor.
How's traffic getting here?
Not bad at all.
Not bad?
Not bad. I don't live far.
Okay, good.
I live in the 305.
Okay, good.
Close by.
So you're good. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get into some history.
Okay.
Where does your Miami story begin? I think I seen you from New York. I'm not sure.
My Miami story begins in 1988.
Okay.
So I was born in Georgetown, Guyana, South America, which a lot of people confuse as Ghana in Africa. And I'm like, no, it's Guyana, South America. And then my family moved to Brooklyn when I was about 5. And at 8, we moved to Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so from 8 to 18, I was here. So
Early on.
I graduated Miami Killeen Senior High School.
Okay.
Living down south in Kendall, where as I got older, I realized a lot of people didn't look at down south as part of Miami.
Right.
But if you looked at the wall of my high school, it said Miami Killeen, even though it was in Pinecrest or wherever
right.
it was. So, shout out to the K, Sunset, Southridge, all the down south areas of the city.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you next. And so Guyana, I'm always confused with that. So it's South America? Is it the Caribbean?
The way I describe it is Guyana is the only West Indian country that's not an island. So we're West Indian, Caribbean by culture.
Right.
We're South American by geography.
Right. Okay.
So we're next to Venezuela, on top of Brazil.
I've seen that.
But culturally, we are West Indian people.
Nice. Okay, cool. So how was your transition moving from Guyana to Miami? Like, how did it feel?
Well, from Guyana to Brooklyn first. It was interesting because when you live in Guyana, which is like predominantly, I only saw people like me, right? And then I got to Brooklyn, to Flatbush, and I only saw people like me.
Right.
And then when I got to Miami, that's when I started getting exposed to different issues like racism and colorism and stuff like that, stuff that I had not been exposed to yet as a young child. So it was definitely a culture shock. Racially, it was a culture shock. Musically,
right.
I'm the youngest of 3 brothers, so myself coming up having the influences of my 2 older brothers and what they listened to, and then going to school and getting exposed to like the local music here.
Right.
It was a wild adjustment to
culture
see.
Shock.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Brooklyn, you say. It's Game 7, Eastern Conference Finals, Knicks versus the Heat. Who are you going for?
Neither.
Neither? So who's your team then?
But go Knicks right now, though. Go Knicks right now. Go Knicks right now. Yeah.
So if it's neither, then who's your team then? Are you into sports?
I know I'm into sports, but my team, I wouldn't say I'm current with sports because my team has always been the '90s Bulls. Always, so
I said that.
So that's always been my team. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you've been in Miami long enough. If there was a landmark that doesn't exist anymore that you would bring back, which one would it be?
Oh wow, a landmark that doesn't exist anymore.
Like a place you wish you could go back to.
Maybe. That's a really good question. Man, let me think. Give me a second to think on this. The landmark that doesn't exist anymore.
The venue that you played that doesn't
I know. I got one. Don Carter's Bowling Alley.
Okay.
Don Carter's Bowling Alley was on 88th Street and kind of approaching Country Walk, like Southwest 136th Avenue. And I know that area because that's when I got into like dating and girls and all that.
Oh, you would go there?
At the bowling. Yeah.
That was the spot.
That was the spot. It was between Don Carter's and Hot Wheels, which now is known as Miami Roller Rink.
Right.
But back then, when I moved there, it was called Hot Wheels.
Everybody talks about Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
I'm not real familiar yet, like with what you were saying as far as not considering the south of Miami, because I'm straight North Miami, Opelika.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I hear things about South Miami, I'm like, where? I mean, I'm not even familiar with a lot of the high schools and stuff too. So I love to hear stuff about South Miami.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Okay, so feeding off of that question, where is a spot in Miami that still exists that instantly takes you back to your childhood that you can go visit now, that you like step into and you're like,
Probably Town and Country down in Kendall, because where I had my first job working at AMC Theater out there.
Okay.
It's definitely has changed. I think there's like a Blue Martini there now, or whatever. But back in the day, it was like the gathering spot, for a lot of junior high school kids. Like you had Flippers Arcade, you had the Burger King over there, like the La Carreta across the street. Like it was a very very well known gathering spot for the youth. And
so it was like a mall?
it's like a strip mall.
Okay.
Or like a plaza.
Got you.
A plaza. So that's where we all hung out at. So it's still there. It's just drastically different than when I was a kid,
Kind of like 163rd Street Mall for us.
Exactly. Like, that was the spot, but then over the years it changed and it became something else.
Yeah. That sucks, I know.
I actually got not to cut you off, but I actually have an interesting story about 163rd Street Mall.
Let us know it.
So summer going into my senior year, I went to an entrepreneurship academy at Florida International University, where they taught minority students how to write business plans.
Okay.
And the top 3 business plans would be granted money to start your business. And so my business plan came in second, and they gave me $3,500 to start a business.
What?
So I started a T-shirt line, me and a friend of mine in high school. And so if you can imagine, in my senior year, we incorporated, came up with a logo, a meaning behind everything, because everything I do has to have meaning, including like the rings I wear. They all are significant in some way. I would be leaving 6th period English class at Killian, getting in my car, driving to 163rd Street Mall to have consignment discussions with like department store managers to do consignment deals to have my shirts put in there.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of them said no, but the first person to actually say yes was DJ EFN from Drink Champs.
Really?
And he put my stuff in his Crazy Goods merchandise store down, which was close to Sunset High School. So I was going to 163rd Street Mall trying to have meetings. They were looking at me as a 17-year-old kid like, why are you even here? What are you doing? And what is this T-shirt line? And no. And then EFN caught wind of it and was like, let me give you a shot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shout out
so
to
that's how long I've known him.
EFN.
Yeah. Happy birthday to him, too.
Happy birthday also. Oh, that's a great story. I love that. And you were coming all the way from Killian to 163rd.
And then driving back in that traffic.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so which Miami record gets the best response when you play it? I know it's hard to choose one.
Oh, that's hard. What?
But it's got to be one that you just like, this is the one that has the energy that people just lose it.
Well, because music for me, Miami music for me comes in eras. So I'll give you a couple.
Okay.
One of them, I don't know if I can curse on here.
Yeah.
Nah Nigga.
Okay. That's
Off top.
Right.
Double up on Trick Daddy, Can't Fuck with the South.
Okay.
Sam Sneak, Pull Out the Stick. Ball Greasy, Nice and Slow.
Love it.
The iceberg version of Lit by an Animal? I think. But yeah, it's the iceberg version of Lit by an Animal. Yeah. Like that, those certain records, if I play those, because I always at some point, depending on where I'm DJing at, I have to do a Miami set. It's just, it's only right.
Right.
Those always like activate the energy
Instantly.
in some kind of way.
I love that. That's a great list. Okay, well, I don't know if it's the same list, but if you had your own Miami soundtrack that you feel like these are my top 3 Miami songs that I like, that has to be on my soundtrack, what are your favorites?
Scrub the Ground.
Okay.
Like that, yeah.
That's a classic.
What else? Rick Ross, Magnificent.
Okay.
And maybe... So, if I could share another story, because I don't know how much time. I don't know how much time I got on here.
Give us all
like,
the stories. We want them all exclusively here.
So, again, me saying I'm the youngest of three brothers. My middle brother was he had a kind of a pivotal role in hip hop scene here in Miami, but I guess from more of like the boom bap side, right? Because you had the Miami bass music and what Luke was doing, and Uncle Al, rest in peace, Black Pack, all of those guys, Poison Clan. But then you had this other side of Miami, right? That was more like underground, backpack, for lack of a better term. And my brother was part of that regime, or part of that era. His group was called the Last Straws. So LAST, Raw, ZE, and what it stood for was Last Real Authors with the Elements, the elements of hip hop. Their elements were the vibe, the funk, and the rhythm. My brother's name is Simeon. His rap name was Mr. Vibe. One of the other guys' name was Grand Funk, who later became known to go by the name Stats. Stats formed a company with DJ Epps called Night Breeders. And the Night Breeders ran South Beach for a lot of years, doing Club Zen on Fridays and a lot of other stuff. Stats later became a born again Christian and got out of music scene. And then the third guy's name was D Rhythm. So it was the Vibe, my brother, Stats, who went by Grand Funk at the time, and then D Rhythm. So the vibe, the funk, and the rhythms, the elements of hip hop. So you had Last Straws, you had groups like First Platoon, you had groups like Bobby Drake, B Dope, who's also very well known. So there was this whole other era of this style of hip hop coming out of Miami that was not booty shaking.
Right.
So it would be, for me, one of my brother's songs from their album Instrumental called Ghostland. Ghostland was the term that they used to signify the part of Miami down south that people forgot about or chose not to acknowledge.
Oh, wow.
So Kendall, Ghouls, Perrine, Colonial, Country Walk, Sable Chase, all of that was Ghostland. Oh. So that would be one of the songs.
I like that.
So
we're gonna look that up. I have to see that.
Yeah. So B Dope or Bobby Drake, before he became solo and before my brother started the Last Straws, they had a group together called School Days. And DJ Epps was their DJ.
Oh, wow.
And back then, Epps went by the name Ep Rock. This is 1991.
Wow.
So that's how long I've known Epps, and that's how long Epps has known me and seen me basically grow up.
That's amazing.
So
I love that.
My hip-hop roots run really deep in the city from another aspect of it, yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
That's amazing. I love to hear that. Okay, so I see that you work a lot with Headliner. Shout out to Mike and Moose Sadiq. And I see that they are slowly rebuilding the legendary Harlem Square out in Overtown, which I feel like is amazing.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's important for anybody to kind of pour back into the black community, specifically like the Liberty Cities, the Brown Subs, and Overtown for Miami culture? Why do you think that is important?
Well, these, Overtown, Liberty City, Carroll City, these are parts of Miami that have had a bad stigma over them for years, without bringing up why. But everybody knows, like, these areas of town, just didn't have very good reputations. And, at this stage, if you have the ability to inject some positivity into a community that you come from or you represent or people that look like you, why not do it? I think that's something that is not only important to Mike and Moose Sadiq, but, people like myself, in whatever way you're able to. I think by them building Harlem Square and not only creating jobs to employ, our people, and bringing a level of sophistication and elegance and something that Overtown, where Harlem Square is going to be, needs.
Right.
I think it's just a testament to their commitment to wanting to uplift, the city that they've been able to benefit from, and that has helped and that has supported them for so long.
Right.
If one knows anything about Overtown is the Harlem of the South, or was the Harlem of the South. You know, so as the story goes, I know a lot of people are familiar when you had artists like Sammy Davis Jr. and whoever coming to Miami to perform on South Beach and couldn't stay on South Beach. You had to come back over the bridge to stay in your hotel. Your hotel was in Overtown, like the Josephine or whatever. So, you know, it's these type of things where you have like Red Rooster in Overtown now that's bringing some elegance to it. There's a lot, you know, a lot of events that happen at the Urban. I think Harlem Square is just going to continue to add to that next generation of upliftment for the city. So
absolutely, I love that they're doing that, and I would love to see more of that from like our power players in the city. So I think it's a really great thing. So what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about Miami?
The biggest misconception people have about Miami, I think, is that they think it's all palm trees, parties, and fun and games.
Right.
And it's really not the case. Now, myself, who's been in the industry 18 years and counting, I can see why somebody might think that. Or, you know, if you're coming from Iowa or Kansas and you've never been anywhere before and you're 23 years old, you just graduated from college and you land here and you got the hotel on South Beach at the Cleveland or wherever, and you're like, oh, this is the greatest shit ever. I want to move here. You know how many times I hear people say, I'm moving to Miami? And I'm like, man, if you're not making a certain amount of money, the cost of living here today,
insane.
Like, don't even stay in your home small town wherever you're at, you know, come here on vacation. But yeah, I think people I think they confuse a lot of times Miami Beach with Miami and not realizing that it's a whole nother world, you know. And like a lot of places that have their good side and their bad side, their pros and their cons, but you know, the weather can be misleading, the surroundings might be misleading because it's definitely not, you know, all fun and games.
Not at all. Now, when you cross that bridge and you see the real side of Miami, people are like, "What?" Like, this is what we know. The people who are really from here.
Right.
Okay. So, you have been around and you've been DJing in the nightlife for a long time. What's the craziest era of the Miami nightlife that you got to witness? That you just wild.
Crazy in what way? Like
crazy in the way of just like the way that people responded to the music, the way that the clubs were, the way people reacted. Which era would you say that was like the wildest?
Well, I'll say this. There was a time on South Beach where if you walked on Washington Avenue, you could walk from 5th Street to Espanola Way and go into maybe 11 different clubs along the way, and they were all popping, depending on what flavor you were in, what you were into, right? Hip hop, Latin music, you know, there are gay clubs, there are, you know, house clubs, whatever you were into, it was something there for you. And I just remember this is maybe 2008 to 11, somewhere around there, where Washington Avenue just used to be packed from Thursday to Monday, packed with people, and there was something for everybody to do, everybody to hang out, and it felt like everybody was thriving. Yeah. And if you compare that to today, trying to walk down Washington Avenue now, it's like that has been erased.
Completely.
You know, like, because I DJ'd at Club Bed.
Right.
Then it became room service. I DJ'd at Dream, which later became Exchange. I DJ'd at Set, which is now Mr. Jones. Like, I've DJ'd in Love Hate, where my career started. That doesn't exist anymore. That now is like a Greek restaurant. Like, I've DJ'd in so many places and I've had the blessing, you know, these past 18 years, but just seeing the landscape just drastically change, it's like, where is the nightlife component of Miami right now, especially on South Beach?
Yeah.
Because it's almost non-existent.
It really is. Yeah. I remember those days of like the Memorial Day weekends and spring break. I mean, it was a little crazy, but...
Listen, we used to do, and when I say we, I mean headliner, we used to do Memorial Day weekend. And it's funny because since Memorial Day just passed not too long ago, we used to do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday with a different celebrity every night at Club Story, which no longer exists. Right. You know, and people don't know Club Story. Club Story was the sister club of Live. 2,000 people every night.
Oh, my God.
From Thursday through Monday. And then you factor in on Sunday having to do Story and Live on the same night. Like, there's... I've been blessed to see really amazing times, and now sometimes it's scary to think where it is right now. and even trying to maintain work and maintain, having a source of income.
Yeah.
It can be scary. And nothing showed that more than COVID, number one.
Right.
Because COVID hit the reset button on everything. So a lot of places never were able to get back to what they were. A lot of places closed, like Wood Tavern, which was like my Sunday spot, every Sunday. And a lot of DJs that I know that were never able to really get back to where they were as far as how much they were working once we got back outside, and it's I've been blessed in a lot of ways, but a lot of my comrades haven't, and it's been sad to see, like this kind of downfall on where Miami used to be in terms of like nightlife and hospitality, and how everybody was able to flourish and everybody was able to succeed, and now it just seems like so many of us are like, scraping for the same dollar.
Yeah. What a time.
Yeah.
It was such a time to be alive during those days.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was doing some research, and I saw that you started off rapping. FAMU, I saw you on stage. I saw your pictures. I was like, okay, look at him. Talk to me about that. How did you go about that? I know you said your brothers were in the industry. I also saw, and you brought that up as well.
So my eldest brother, he was editor-in-chief of The Source magazine in the 90s. So if you know about The Source magazine, and if you can imagine, between 1995 and 1999, the guy whose bedroom door was 2 doors down from mine is now running what they call the Bible of hip hop.
Oh my God.
So for me, being the youngest of the three, and then you have the middle brother who signed a record deal at 17 and put his album out, I'm coming along like, I want to do this shit too. I can rap. I couldn't really at the time, but I started at 14, and I knew from the time I was 14 that I was going to have a career and dedicate my life to music and entertaining people with music in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
I just always thought it would be my music.
Right.
Now it just kind of it metamorphosized into me playing other people's music, but I used to tell people all the time, like, I only DJ to support my rap habit. That's it. Like, and that's how, when I made the transition. Again, this is moving back to Miami after being in Brooklyn for 10 years, coming back in 2008 and starting my DJ career. I wasn't able to have the same avenues and outlets for my MC expression that I had in New York. In New York, I was doing 2 and 3 shows a week.
Right.
And then I come down here and I'm like, well, where are the opportunities for local artists to be seen and heard and have a chance to, share their gifts? And somebody put me onto this one event called Miami Live. Used to have it on Wednesdays on the beach at a spot called Santos. Michael Mann was the guy who ran that, and BB Lewis. Larry Dog was the host. And they had a band. And they used to have artists, Trina, Ace Hood, whoever would come in on a humble and just perform with this band. And I got introduced to them one day, and they were like, yo, go, because I was going to Circle House recording. They were like, yo, you got to check out Miami Live, but they got to make sure, you can actually rap before they put you on stage. So go to a sound check one day. So I went to a sound check, and I already know, like, okay, you want to hear me rap? Okay,
Right.
cool. Went to the sound check, met everybody, got on stage, told the band, give me something, rap for them. And then I performed at Santos every Wednesday, maybe for like 3 months, before I ended up going on the Rock the Bells tour and opening up for Raekwon and Ghostface Killer on the Rock the Bells tour. Yeah.
So when you opened up for them, you opened up as a rapper?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Because this is March 2008 when I got back. I didn't start DJing until December 2008.
Oh, okay.
So in those months, those first couple months doing Santos, then leaving on the tour for like 2 months, then coming back and figuring out, I just had my eldest daughter, my first child at the time, not knowing what I was going to do, working at a sneaker store in Aventura Mall, and kind of really just like lost.
Right.
And I went to the guys that started Love Hate, Classic Sundays, Selborn and Mark G, and I said, yo, man, I love this party. I want to start DJing. Can I DJ here? And they basically were like, pretty much, well, you could play the last 30 minutes in the night, which is 4:30 a.m. to 5 a.m. And that turned into me DJing it every Sunday for 3 years.
So Love Hate is where you got your start in DJing.
Mm-hmm.
You said in what year? It was
2008.
And ever since, you've been...
I haven't had a boss since.
You ever, you kind of ever miss rapping? Or do you get like that?
Well, so the interesting thing is I still make music, but along the journey of DJing, I learned that now I'm making music more as my therapeutic release.
Gotcha.
As opposed to trying to get a record deal, right? And just the way music is now, like everything has their audience and everybody can find the music that they want. And I know the style of music that I make is different, but being an MC will always be my first passion. Absolutely. And I took that showmanship and that performance energy and I applied it to me as a DJ, and I think that's what helped to separate me from other DJs.
Right.
Because I had a different understanding of crowd control and people control and energy and how to manipulate bodies and people. So when I applied that, I think it helped to push me further, because I didn't have the luxury of a lot of DJs who practiced in their bedroom for years. I learned everything, no pun intended, on the fly. Like I learned in real time, which is why my first couple of years I was not that good.
Right.
Because I didn't really know. I understand people and energy, but I didn't understand the mechanics of the equipment.
Right.
And I didn't have the money to buy the equipment to learn, so I could only learn in the midst of the party.
Right.
Which is probably why they only gave me the last 30 minutes in the first place. But then, after like a year or so, I started getting the hang of it, and then,
helped build some character.
Yeah, yeah. It checked my ego.
Nice.
Because I definitely thought, swagged out.
I
got this. I actually got banned from a club, from a lounge on South Beach, because I was so bad. Yeah, they shall remain nameless. But I've since gone back and DJ'd there, like years later, and I don't think they remembered that it was me that they banned. Like, maybe it was new management or something. But I was like, I was looking around like, shoo, if y'all only knew. I had a bad night in here, But that was a long time ago. Like, it's a little different now, so yeah.
Okay, so the name, Fly Guy, where did it come from?
How much time we got? We still got time? I still got time?
Let's go.
Yeah? Okay. 2007, blogging was a big thing.
Right.
Everybody had Tumblr and, right? I was blogging in New York, and I was part of a crew called G4. And we used to throw these parties in D.C. every weekend. So we would drive down from New York, throw the parties. It was like 5 of us. Everybody in the crew had a nickname except for me, right? Our parties were called Fashion Monster parties, because Fashion Monsters be so fresh and scary, right? One day we do this party where the theme is we all wear tuxedos from the waist up and jeans and Jordans from the waist down. And I had on mine, Yankee fitted, Marc Jacobs sunglasses, walk up to the venue to set the night up, and our door girl looked at me and she was like, you're a really fly guy. And at the time, I was creating my blog, and I'm like, I need a name for the blog. And then I was like, let me go see if aflyguy.com is available. And it was. So I bought the domain, launched the blog. Fast forward a year later, I moved back here, and I'm like, I need a DJ name. My real name is Rassan. I don't want to be DJ Rassan.
Right.
I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to just use my blog name as my DJ name. And I was like, okay, DJ Fly Guy. But I'm like, but I want to go as a Fly Guy.
Right. So
when you Google it in search engines, it comes up first.
Okay, yeah, because I was wondering that, because I was like, is it Fly Guy or a Fly Guy? I didn't know which one.
It's just the nerd shit in me.
Right. I mean, it's cool. So that's what's up. Okay, I love that. You were a contestant on the 2013 reality TV show Master of the Mix.
Oh, yeah.
What was that experience like?
That was another ego check, because we filmed it in Miami at Ice Palace Studios, and it was the 3rd season of that show. So season 1 and season 2 were on BET, and they were only 30-minute episodes. By the time we got to season 3, VH1 bought the show and made it an hour-long episode. So that means the challenges got longer, you had more contestants, whatever. So when they had the auditions here, somebody called me, was like, yo, there's a DJ show auditioning here. You should go audition. I'm like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, whatever. So at the time, I was sponsored by Vitamin Water. And I called my Vitamin Water reps, these 2 girls, and I'm like, yo, call 2 or 3 of your friends, come with me to this audition. So I went to the audition with like 7 girls. And because I remember Cisco, when Cisco came out, the singer, Drew Hill, he used to roll around with the Cisco six-pack. These 6 girls bumping him everywhere he went. So I'm like, I'm going to get all 7 of y'all will come with me to the audition and just give out vitamin water to the casting directors.
Smart.
Marketing 101, right?
Yes.
So that already made me different than everybody else who was there.
Give you the upper hand.
Got on the show, it started out as like 20,000 DJs around the country. Then it got down to 2,000, and then it got down to 200, and then they picked the 12 cast members. And I think because they were filming it here, that was part of the reason why it helped me get on it. 10 episodes, competing for $250,000, and I made it to episode 7.
Okay.
The episode I lost on, I got sent home on, I already knew I was going to lose before we even did the challenge. So, if I can share and be a little candid with you, I believe every DJ has a strength and a weakness, right? And my strengths, at least especially back then to now, have always been like transitions, blending, song selection, crowd control. My weakness, especially at that time, was what's known as turntablism, which is being very technical with scratching and cutting or whatever.
Right.
The guys that I lost to, one was a DMC world champion, turntablist, right, which is the global DJ competition. Another one was a McDonald's national champion. And then the other one, at the time, he was Little Kim's DJ, who was also a monster. So when they announced the challenge that morning, I was like, oh, I'm going home today.
You knew it.
I knew it.
Oh, man.
Because I knew at that point, being only 5 years in the business and really only 3 years with any kind of actual skill that I accumulated at that point, there was no way I was going to be better than who I was competing against. So I went to the production team and I'm like, yo, I don't even want to do, like, just send me home now. I don't want to be on national TV doing this shit
Right.
So they used to bring in locals to watch the episodes every week. They were like, no, just do it. Hindsight is 2020. They wanted what was going to happen to happen on TV.
They knew
they wanted to be able to film this.
Yeah.
So all day long, I'm anxiety, whatever. And then it comes time to do the challenge. It was so bad that there were like girls in the crowd crying at how bad I did.
What?
Because I had done pretty well up to this. This is now episode 7 out of 10. So I had been, holding my own all the way. And the challenges were only 2 minutes, by the way. But in those 120 seconds, what I did was so bad. They were like, I can't believe this is actually happening to Fly Guy right now.
Right.
And I could look in it, because the crowd was right there. I could see like tears coming down like some girls' faces. Girls I didn't even know.
Right.
Right? Because up to this point, it was like I was built as like the hometown hero.
Right.
After every challenge, you have to do your off-camera backstage interview right when you finish.
Oh.
So I fucked up. Everybody's like, it's like dead silent. Kid Capri was one of the judges. I forgot who the other 2 judges were. And they were just like,
right.
you going home.
Yeah.
Go backstage, do the on-camera interview, bawling my eyes out, crying, just because I knew I wanted to actually like throw my laptop against the wall. And then in my mind, I kept thinking about, oh, they're going to air this on TV. This is that shit they're looking for.
Yeah.
Right? This was January. That episode aired. January when we filmed it, that episode aired around my birthday, which is fucking crazy.
God.
But whatever. But I remember like having to pack my stuff up that night, and then I went from filming to DJ at Arcadia, which was a club underneath Live inside the Fontainebleau.
Right.
So I still had to like, and this is what I talk about this a lot in something else we may discuss in my photo exhibit for DJs, but I talk about how you have to compartmentalize your trauma and issues and still put on a show for people. So I had to like wipe the tears, switch my mindset, and then go and be the life of the party. Like immediately, like in the taxi, because there were no Ubers yet, in the taxi on the way from Ice Palace Studios to the Fontainebleau to now go do this headliner party, actually. Wow. Yeah, that was 2013.
You had to just pull it together.
Yeah, I was DJ Cry Guy on Twitter for a long time. Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. They let me have it.
I have a question. On hindsight, from 1 to 10, now that you know more, how bad do you think you were now? from 1 to 10. Like
how bad was I?
Yeah, 10 being the worst, obviously.
10 being the worst?
Like 1 to 10, yeah. Now that you know more, what you know.
Oh, I was like 11.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was bad.
Wow.
Oh, no, I was bad.
Oh.
And what made it even worse is that at that time I didn't understand how to troubleshoot turntables when they weren't working properly. Sorry, or how to troubleshoot needles, because we weren't using controllers, and we were using actual turntables with needles, with vinyl, like, so it was a different set of circumstances than if you were to do a DJ competition today, where everybody has the ability to use digital controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think that experience made you a better DJ coming out of it?
It made me a better DJ because it made me. I went through this time period of what I can only think is hate, where people will say shit like, "You never had to carry crates of records. You're not a real DJ." Because I started in 2008 in the middle of the Serato era, the digital era. So, but I always said that I'm going to use turntables with Serato so I can maintain some of the truest essence of the craft of DJing.
Right.
So that nobody could really, say shit about it. But you still had people here and there that, would talk some shit about it. And so I had to deal with a lot of hate when I first started. And then that made me think about, even today, like, would somebody say that someone like Black Coffee is not a DJ? Because he doesn't use turntables. Right? He doesn't use needles. Like, people, my outlook and my perspective on what a DJ is has changed specifically based on my experience on Master of the Mix. Because if you really want to break it down to the core, it's like, can you move the people?
Right.
Can you take the fundamentals of beat matching and transition, however you transition, minus the sync button, but that's another conversation, and create an experience that makes people enjoy themselves? And if you can do that, then you are a DJ in some regard.
Right.
It wasn't like that for me when I got into the business. It was like, you didn't do this, so you're not this.
Right.
You rap, why do you want to DJ? Stick to rapping. Like, all this kind of, you want to be a DJ now? Why? You want to get girls? It was like all this shit that I had to kind of just endure. But I'm telling people, you don't even understand my connection to hip-hop, music, culture, this city. Like, you don't understand. I bleed this shit, and you have nobody has any authority to tell another person what their dream should be.
Absolutely.
And how to navigate their life. And I think once I went through the Master of the Mix situation and learned from it, I was able to kind of use that as the fuel that catapulted me a lot further than I ever saw myself going. Because I've done things that I just didn't envision, like DJing in China, like where the Olympics was, and I'm about to DJ the World Cup next month. And like, just certain things that I've really, really had the blessings to do that I think going through those tears or whatever on Master of the Mix shaped and molded me to persevere more.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everything happens for a reason. And you can't please everybody, so.
Never.
Yeah.
Younger DJs need to know that, learn that in the beginning. You can never please everybody, so don't even try.
Yeah, especially people who are used to, like, old school. You have old heads that are like, that ain't hip-hop. Like, they can't, some people just don't see the growth of things, even though you don't really like it too much. But you got to just be open-minded to just being like, well, this is what it is now. Take what you can from it. But, yeah, I get it.
I don't play everything. I don't like everything I play.
Yeah, right. I'm sure. You're like, what? This is what the crowd likes.
But this is what the crowd likes.
Exactly.
And, like, DJing, not to be on a soapbox, but DJing at this level is being able to give somebody what they want along with what they need.
Right.
Without you realizing you needed it in the first place. And that's the essence of what I do.
Right.
I'm sure other DJs have their own perspectives on how they do it, why they do it, but for me, it's giving you what you want with what you need, and you didn't even realize you needed it.
That's awesome. And that, I think, will tell you that you're a good DJ, because you could leave from there and be like, I didn't even know I liked that song like that, but now it's my song.
I didn't even know that song. Look, let me Shazam this shit real quick.
Exactly.
What is that? Yeah, so.
Okay, so with that being said, what city do you think that you had the toughest time to win over? Like, which crowd in what city? That you were like,
Damn. what was tough? Honestly, I don't really have a city that was tough, but here's why. Because if I know I'm going to a certain city, I've already done like the market research on where I'm going, right? For example, like I went on tour with Tank, and our last 3 shows were in Cali, and one of the cities was the Bay Area, or one of the areas was the Bay. So I know the Bay Area music is very, very regional, the same way go-go is to like the DMV area, right? The same way juke music is to Miami. So if I'm going to the Bay, I'm like, all right, well, what are the hottest Bay records out there? Like, I know E40 and Keek the Sneak and Mr. Fab and all these things, so that when I'm on stage opening the show and I hit these records and they know this DJ came from Miami, they're like, oh shit, he just dropped E40. Like, what? You know, but those are the things that you learn over time, you know, professionally. But I will say, when I DJ'd in Jamaica a long time ago, I wasn't up on the new dance hall, and so that was a little tough.
Right.
That was like, oh, he's playing all that old shit.
Right. It does get,
so,
yeah.
you know.
Okay, so we did touch on you working with Headliner. How did you link up with them and create doo-wop and crates, which are like extremely successful? How did that start off?
I got with Headliner. I got with Mike. It was like 13 years ago. A friend of mine, Vanessa James, was having an event. As the story goes, Vanessa was having an event, and I was the DJ, and I guess Mike was there. And I don't know if he asked her, like, who's that guy DJing or whatever. So I guess that's how he heard of me initially. Fast forward, I was headlining. It's funny, headlining. I was DJing at a Dream on Friday nights with these guys named Hasta Abajo, Carlos and these guys. And some other guys I was working with, we were doing a dinner party at Room Service on Monday nights. Room Service used to be Club Bed, like I mentioned. Phil the Mayor was doing Friday nights at Room Service, and we wanted to get in on part of the Friday nights. So an opportunity came around where they were basically like, well, you can stay at Dream as the main DJ, or you can come and work with Phil, the mayor, over at Room Service on Fridays, not knowing that Mike was attached to the night also, because I didn't really know Mike yet. Right. And the relationship or the connection just kind of started there and grew from there. And then, I mean, we've done so many events in and out of town, and Chris Brown tours, and, you know, yeah, it's been amazing. So in 2021, I came to him with this idea for an all R&B event called Doo-Wop. Because we were just getting back outside, and I had not seen anybody doing R&B only parties in Miami. Now
it's the thing. You guys set the trend.
But I'm always like, yo, yeah, let's push this R&B culture forward. Everybody, come on, let's all move it together, you know. But I went to him and I'm like, yo, I think now would be a perfect time to launch this idea. He's like, all right, well, you know, let's do it. And we launched it at Racket, and it was instant success because nobody was really doing it, at least in that way. And because the thing about the doo-wop was, it was like 100% R&B. Yeah. There is no deviation. There is no, well, I could play Jay-Z, Excuse Me Miss, because Pharrell is on the hook. Like, nah, if you were to go in, show my age, if you were going to Specs Music and be like, where's this song at? Hey, don't laugh, y'all. If you were going to Specs Music and be like, where's this song? They'd be like, oh, it's in the rap section. Right. Because it's a rap song. Right. Same thing with Fabulous and Little Mo. Or, you know, like, certain records might feel like R&B, but they're hip-hop records, right? LL Cool J, Love You Better, another example. Right. So we were like, all right, we are only going to play 100% R&B and soul music. And it got so good that we did the first one in August 2021, and it's monthly. So September, we had to move to the urban because we started booking celebrity hosts, and it became like, it went from like 200 people to 2,000 people, like in a month. And we've now done it in numerous cities on the road. We've done it with almost every artist you can think of. Chris Brown has hosted it 3 times. Tank hosted it, which is how I ended up going on the road with Tank, because he was like, yo, who are you? What's it like? You want to go on tour? Yeah, what's happening? You know? So that's been an amazing experience. We're 5 years in. People in the city have really, really supported it. They supported R&B music. People in other cities have supported it, because we've done it in Philly and Houston and Dallas and LA and Atlanta, Chicago, everywhere. So it's been a real blessing.
Yeah, I see it. It started in the 305.
It did start in the 305, yeah.
I mean, and with R&B, if you could get the ladies, I mean, come on, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So that was my next question. Talk to me about the R&B Money Tour. It was with Tank, Kerry Hilson, Carl Thomas,
and me.
How was that?
That was my first tour. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable to have my own bunk on a tour bus. With because what happens a lot of times, I didn't know, but sometimes the headlining artists will put the crew on a tour bus and fly to the other cities.
Right.
Tank was like, nah, I'm gonna ride with y'all. I'm on the bus with y'all. Yay. So that, being able to just really, really get cool with him and that experience, being in front of 5, 6, 7, 10,000 people every night, 25 cities across the country, going from Boston to the Bay Area and everywhere in between, and him entrusting me enough to say, you start the show. And then, because the way it was I would start the show, and then Carl would come out, and then Kerry would come out. Then I would go back on before Tank came out.
Right.
So to start the show with a certain kind of energy, and then everybody's anticipating the show to start, the artist to come out, and then Tank being the headliner of the show, me getting to set the tone for him to come out, and he can just flow right into what he was doing. I mean, that I'm gonna forever be grateful to him for that opportunity. I've already gone back on the road with him since then.
Okay.
I'll actually be in Chicago with him next month.
Nice.
It was just amazing. You see your name on the dressing room, and you got
You're like, okay.
you got snacks, and it's like, damn, I should have been doing this shit 10 years ago, But I think it's humbling to see or to feel that somebody recognizes my talent and appreciates it, and doesn't mind, giving me a platform and kind of pushing me out there, because that introduced me to a whole nother category of people, of fans, I guess. So, it's really been dope,
That's amazing. Shout out to Tank for that.
Yeah.
And whenever I go to shows, I do notice that, because, when you go to shows, you have the DJs that, kind of carry the show and get you ready. And you got to be a good DJ to kind of keep the energy going. So
because people that come to a concert, for the most part, you're sitting.
Right.
You're sitting and you're literally just waiting. So that you can fuck that up easily.
Yeah, definitely.
And now with the shows that we do now, he's actually woven me into his performance as part of his performance, versus the R&B Money Tour where I played before he came out. Now I'm on stage with him. So now that's a whole nother aspect of the shit, because now we're interacting together in front of thousands of people, and that's
awesome.
Yeah, Tank's that dude, man. And him, he's just a good human being.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more life experiences I have, the more I learn about people, the more I learn about myself. I just really want to be around good humans.
Yeah.
With good energy.
Good energy.
That's all. I'm so tired of negative energy. It's just it's cancerous.
Yeah, it's draining.
It is draining.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And with Tank, I've never personally got a chance to meet him, but I was loving the verses he did with Tyrese. I just felt like watching it. Their verses to me was one of the, as far as energy, going back to that, was just it didn't even feel like a verses. They just looked like they were having fun. They were genuinely friends. And it was a very good vibe.
And that's who he is. He's like that backstage, off camera. He's a good person. He's a funny person. And he makes I watched this man take pictures with 500 people after the show, at the meet and greet. Everybody gets their photo, and you just don't see that in a lot of artists, especially of his caliber, his stature, his tenure in the game. And it's just a beautiful thing to not only witness, but to say that you can never be too big to be a good human.
Yeah.
No matter how much success you've had, nobody's better than anybody else. And if somebody like him can make this woman, who spent all her money to buy this ticket to come see him perform, make her feel like this is the best moment she's had in however long.
Yes.
Who am I to have an ego about anything?
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah. I definitely love that when I see artists are that humble and they maintain that throughout their career. It's a great thing to see. It's inspiring. DJ Mount Rushmore. Who would you put on yours?
How many's on Mount Rushmore? 4?
4. Mm-hmm.
Jazzy Jeff, Kid Capri, Flash, LS1.
All the legends.
And LS1, and I've said this before. DJ LS1, to me, he's the greatest DJ I've ever seen with my 2 eyes.
Yeah.
Going back to strengths and weaknesses, I've never seen his weakness. Never seen it. He can do it all, right? He can do, and this is not to nerd you out, but on some DJ shit, whatever he can do with his right hand, he can do with his left.
Wow.
His voice is amazing on the microphone. He's been doing it for a long time and still has the fire in him every time I see him. Yeah, his energy is... As I was coming up, starting at Love Hate, and seeing him and like just kind of, no pun, being a fly on the wall, watching him doing what he was doing, you know, with the 400 Club and everything like that, like I was just always in awe, like, wow, if I'm gonna emulate somebody, it was 2 DJs. It was him and a DJ by the name of Ferg Fresh. Ferg Fresh, who used to be called Johnny Walker Red, but now he goes by Ferg Fresh. And it was like those 2 guys. I'm like, damn, that's, as I'm trying to find my path or who Fly Guy is as a DJ,
Right.
if I could borrow a little bit from him, and somehow make it my own. That's who you have now. But yeah, LS1 is like the greatest I've seen.
Number 1 top dog.
Yeah.
You learn from the greats. I love that. So we'll take it back a little bit. I believe in 2009 you opened the store, the Stock Exchange.
Stock Exchange, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
That's more of my entrepreneurial spirit, like how I had the T-shirt line in high school. Remember, I was saying I was working at a sneaker store in Aventura Mall, not knowing what I was going to do to feed my child, and then starting to DJ. And I remember it was a privately owned store, so it wasn't like a Foot Locker or anything. It was a private family owned it, and the owner came in one day and he didn't like something that I did or whatever, and he tried to reprimand me in front of a customer. So the way my attitude was set up, I was like, I'm not dealing with this shit. Matter of fact, fuck you. I quit. I'm going to go open my own store, and it's going to be better than this. No clue how I was going to do it. This is April 2009. By July 4th, 2009, I had my grand opening.
What?
So in 3 months, I decided to create a name, find a location, get a contractor, build it out. Oh, shit, I need inventory. Where am I going to get the inventory from? I don't only want to sell sneakers. I want to sell accessories too, watches, apparel, whatever. Got to fly to New York, meet with distributors, convince them that they should let this kid who has no history in the retail business carry their merchandise, sign a lease, market it, promote it, get people to know it's there, price everything, stock everything. I don't have staff. It's only me. Get a POS system, learn the POS system. Like, I did all of this shit in 3 months and then opened July 4th, 2009. Became the youngest member in the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. Did a big ribbon cutting. I actually just posted this shit a couple weeks ago. Throwback. And I had it for 3 years.
Nice.
Had it for 3 years. And then, that was a time when we were going through the recession, I guess, and, shit was just... Brick and mortar stores for retail weren't really... If you weren't, like, Nike...
Yeah.
They were really taking a back seat, and I had to shut it down and move everything online for like a year, and then I got out of the sneaker business.
Where was it located?
Hollywood. If you know the Hollywood area, it was on Polk Street, which was across the street from the post office, right? Basically a block from Young Circle.
Okay.
A block from Young Circle. Ginger Bay Cafe was over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a block from Ginger Bay and Young Circle, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, right on the corner.
So you did bring up, you curated a art exhibit, BPM. With your photography. Talk to us about that.
BPM is beats, picks, and masters. The beats that we play, the pics that I take, we are masters of our craft. It is an exhibition highlighting the mental, physical, financial, emotional, psychological stress that we take on as DJs to entertain y'all. Because I don't think that enough people, respect what we do as art and as a craft. And to me, we're the only profession where people think they have the authority to tell us how to do our job. I don't see it happening in other professions. And there are a lot of us suffering with mental health issues just from being in the business, number one, because it's very draining on your spirit and your soul. And it's how a lot of us end up with drug addiction, alcohol addiction, suicidal thoughts, committing suicide. There's a lot of dark energy around this business. Again, people think, it's all fun and games. And it's like, there's a whole other side to this shit that people don't understand, how you really have to take your trauma and put the shit over here. And now you got to go shout somebody out for their birthday. Somebody holds their phone in your face or some shit like that. Or you got to play whatever song because this table just spent $10,000. And the 5 people at this table who want to hear this song because they spent this amount of money is about to fuck up the energy in the room for these other 4,500 people.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because the manager said play this shit and you got to play it 5 times back to back.
Right.
So there have been DJ documentaries that have come out, some about mixtapes, some about, DJing as a craft itself, but mine is about who we are.
Right.
And it's about humanizing us. So it's a photography exhibition, a book, and eventually a documentary as well, just to shine a light on the people, the men and the women behind the turntables.
I love that.
So I've done 4 exhibits on that so far, 3 in Miami, 1 in New York. I just did one with FIU, where they gave me their gallery on South Beach for 6 months, and I had 31 DJ images up there. And the way I split it, I had DJs from Miami on one side and DJs from other cities on the other side.
Oh, nice.
So that I could say, you're not from Miami? Look, these are all Miami DJs. Scan the QR code so you can learn about them. Next time you're here, maybe you can go see one of them where they're spinning somewhere, if they're spinning.
Right.
Because not all of them are actively working.
Yeah.
Again, because of different reasons, COVID or whatever. But that's what I'm working on now, and the goal is to have the book finished by Art Basel this year. And because 90% of the DJs I photograph, I interview for the potential, eventually for the documentary. And you'd be surprised at how the stories that they tell me,
Right.
it's fucked up, and it's different. I think getting them to confide in me and open to me, DJ to DJ, is different. Because I know what they're going through, or I know what they've been through, or they know what I've been through, or we can relate to one another. I've had DJs cry on camera to me, talking about things that they've experienced, So it's something that's very serious to me. It's very, very dear to my heart, and something that I think people will appreciate once it's out.
Yeah, that conversation definitely needs to be had. I'm glad you're doing that because
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very inspiring to get into the psyche and to just to try to shed light on that. So
because even if you just think about what the ingredients of a party of a club night is, right? Just from different aspects, the volume level and what it does to your hearing. That's one. I have a 24-hour-a-day tinnitus in my ear. I've had it for 10 years. 10 years. Wear earplugs. Can't wear earplugs because I got to feel the music in order for me to do my job better. So it's a catch-22.
Right.
The lights, the strobe lights, the overstimulation of,
right.
Constant. Lights create energy, whatever. The people. Now, depending on the type of person you are, and I'm an energy person, and I have to deal with all these different kinds of energies from different people.
Yeah.
And I have to remain the same or try to remain the same to everybody, which is cordial, respectful, smiling, engaging, because, you don't want to develop a reputation for being mean or standoffish or whatever. But it's like, this shit is a lot to deal with.
Absolutely.
And now you add in not only people's energy, but now their energy is affected. Alcohol, they're drunk, they're high, they're both, whatever. And now you multiply that by 300 people you got to interact with in a night. And it's like, I'm not going to want to maybe smile and take a picture with you.
Right.
Maybe I'm not going to want to be as cordial and happy-go-lucky when I show up. Maybe I'm coming from the hospital where my daughter's been in for a month, and I still got to come to work.
Right.
So you don't know what goes on in here before I get behind the turntables and say, everybody feel good? Great. Let's have a great time for the next 2 hours. Like,
the expectations, like you guys are human. Like, I get it. Yeah. So what haven't you done? So you did rapping, you conquered DJing, art galleries, store. What do you feel is do you want to contribute next for your career?
Opening my wine bar.
Nice.
Opening my wine/vinyl bar. That's on the list of things to do, and giving a safe space for our black and brown people to go in an elevated environment and have somewhere to just vibe out.
I love it.
Nothing big.
No, yeah.
Nothing crazy. But my contribution to the movement, to the culture, to the city is taking what I've learned over the past 18 years in hospitality and applying it to something I've envisioned that you can touch and feel and say, oh, yeah, this is some fly shit.
Tangible.
Like, literally, this is some fly shit.
I love that. Okay, so with every episode, we like to end it with our segment called Picture That. So we're going to pull up some throwbacks.
Okay. Should be
We're going to pull up a couple throwbacks of you, and we just want a little bit of context.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. We're going to start from the beginning.
Okay. Let's see how much digging y'all did.
Oh, yeah, I did my research. I had a couple more, too. I'm like, I ain't gonna pull up too many. We just did 4.
Okay.
But I had more.
Okay. Okay.
What could you tell us about this one?
This is me and my 2 older brothers. The one on the left, that's Selwyn, that's who ran the Source magazine.
Okay.
And then the one on the right, Simeon, that's who taught me how to rap.
Okay.
And this picture was actually taken in front of our house in New York, in Long Island, actually, where we briefly stayed in Long Island. Yeah, that's, wow.
And your parents gave all 3 of y'all the same face. Okay, because y'all all look alike there.
Maybe the same skin tone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's pull up another one. What could you tell me about this one?
Oh, shit. So this is me freshman year at FAMU, and the guy to the left in the blue hat, his name is Rashidi. He worked for Def Jam at the time, and Jay-Z Volume 2 Hard Knock Life album had just dropped, and he saw me rapping on what we call the set or the quad on campus, came up to me, introduced himself. He was like, yo, I'm Rashidi. I do promotion for Def Jam. We got a concert. Jay's coming to Atlanta. We need some help on the promo team. Do you want to come? I'm like, Jay-Z? Hell yeah. So this is us in Atlanta outside. I forgot where the show was, but yeah, we took a Greyhound bus from Tallahassee to Atlanta. I rapped the entire bus ride there and back. And yeah, I'm still cool with Rashidi to this day. This is 1998.
Oh,
wow, god damn.
The good days.
Do-rag and all, yeah.
All right.
It's funny, when I had hair, I used to cover the shit up all the time. It's crazy.
Talk to us about this one.
This is where it started. This is love-hate.
Okay.
This is love-hate. Now, the interesting thing is when you walked in, love-hate was underneath a dance studio, right? So when you walked in from the street, there was like a door here and a door here. If you opened this door, it would take you up the steps to the dance studio. That was above Love Hate. The original DJ booth, that space is underneath the stairs on the outside. So that, like where my head is, you can't, it's hard to tell, but that's a diagonal slant of stairs.
Oh.
Now, that's when I first started. Love Hate on Sundays had a stage that I used to have to help install every week as part of my dues in order to be able to DJ there. So myself, the DJ who I mentioned earlier, Ferg Fresh, and one of the bar managers, they had these giant wooden slats that they would store like on this ledge. We had to pull the slats down, hand screwdrivers, screw them in every week to put the DJ booth on the stage, because Selborne had this thing that I learned, that the DJ needs to be seen, not tucked away in a cubbyhole. And that's how I learned about, in terms of like opening my space, the DJ has to be the focal point.
Oh, definitely.
But that's, wow.
That's right in the beginning, where it all started.
It all started right there. On turntables. You see the turntables,
yes.
right? Yeah.
And then we got one last one, a more current one. Talk to us about this one.
Oh, shit. E-Class?
You know, we had to throw
You
some
talk about Miami. Oh, man. E-Class. That was at a doo-wop in Racket, which no longer exists. I think it's called Flamingos now, in Wynwood.
You change it.
But yeah, E-Class came, and he just came up to the booth, and I was like, E-Class is a special dude, man. Like, I can't say I know him personally, but just to see what he's done over the years for Miami representation, with music, with Po' Boy, with just everything he means to the city, with the licking, with, like, that is... I'm almost like in awe of E-Class, because you never really see him, and and he's very soft spoken and everything. But man, you talk about power play in the city. But I'll say this: in the licking on South Beach, have you ever been?
No.
Okay. And I think South Beach is the only one. I don't think the other locations have it. But if you go inside Finger Licking in South Beach, and you look up towards the ceiling, they have street sign type of signs of DJs' names around the whole restaurant. And I walked in there one day in 2019 to get some food, and I was ordering food, and I just happened to look up, and I saw my name on the wall with like Efeezy and Stevie J and DJ Laz and Khaled, and I just remember how good it felt. I was like, damn, E-Class felt like I was worthy to be on the wall in such good company. Sorry, my bad.
And this was without you knowing, right?
Yeah. And it's still, because somebody went in there the other day and sent me a video like, yo, your name's on the wall. I was like, oh, the shit is still there. That's wild. And it's kind of like, what's even more symbolic in this photo, the shirt I'm wearing from Fly Supply, it actually says, "Dear God, thank you."
Wow.
Because that's always like my mentality is always like, I'm just so thankful for the opportunities that I've had and people that really, really support me and believed in me. And it's funny, I'm wearing Fly Supply right now, actually. Shout out to the guys. But yeah, so that's that. My bad, y'all.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that story.
It's cool.
Shout out to E-Class.
Shout out to E-Class, y'all.
That's always a great thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you for sitting down with us. I really appreciate you coming through. We really respect what you do, and we just want to keep seeing you shine and seeing where your career takes you. What could you tell the people what you have coming up, where they can find you?
Definitely A Fly Guy, because it comes up first in the search. On all the socials, and look out for what I'm about to do with the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup, as being one of only a few DJs selected to DJ for it. 20,000 people at Bayfront Park. And they gave me 2 dates.
Nice.
Yeah, and then some other things in the pipeline. BPM, definitely the book and the exhibition, and we'll see what's gonna happen with doo-wop and how it continues to grow and expand, and get this vinyl bar situation happening, and just everything, and just keep contributing to pushing the culture forward in Miami and representing for the 305. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was an amazing interview.
Thank you.
I loved it. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in, and stay tuned for this episode of the 305 History Podcast, where we talk 305 history, 305 culture, 305 everything. Till next time.
Peace.
Yay! Oh my God, that was so amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you so much.